Just Erev Shabbos, I got the latest list from my dear friend, the Tzaddik Avi Fishoff. Some of you have heard, some of you here in the shul have worked with him. Kesher Nafshi, Twisted Parenting. The latest list, it's growing every year. Hundreds and hundreds of names of children from all different backgrounds. Marden, Hasidish, Ashkenaz, Sephardim, beginning in alphabetical order. The name is Aviv Dov Ben Linda. Doesn't sound Hasidish. And it goes on. Aviva, Avigail, Avigal, Avigal, Avigail. Avram Abush, Avram Eliezer. All the way through. Hundreds and hundreds of the latest that was shechted somehow on the Mizbeach. All the way to the last name, that when I looked at the last name, I began to tremble. Tirza Bas Ronit Leah. Because Tirza is an unusual name, and we have an Einik called Tirza. She should live in good health, and Hashem should watch over in all Jewish children. So from Aviv until Tirza. The current list of Karbanas. And these parents, yesh lahem ma loymar, yesh lahem ma ledaber, yesh lahem ma litzdadak. They did everything they were supposed to do. They gave their last penny to send to a wonderful yeshiva. They said Kriya Shema with the kid at night. They told stories. They said Torah at the Shabbos table. Now, I don't know how these people get up in the morning. They have so much to say that they could say. But they get up the next day and they wash Nagel Wasser. I know them, I watch them. There are some who are here. And they're living at the end of time in such a hest upon him. That whoever has a leiv bos or a fleishige heart, whoever is a nin v'nechet to Avram Avinu, feels the pain of these people, and each one of us in our own way also have been koivesh rachamenu lasois rotzen Hashem b'leiv of shalem. And yesh lanu ma'aloyma, yesh lanu ma'aladaber, yesh lanu ma'aladstadik. But we continue on as Jews who do your will. And here we are, all of us at Sleechis, all over the world, getting ready for Yontiv. And the emphasis is that if you look carefully at Sleechis, if you go through Sleechis, if you learn Sleechis, because when you're actually saying them, everything goes so quickly, it's hard. And it's kedai, if you have time, it's kedai each day to try the night before to prepare and to look at Sleechis that's coming up. All the piyutim, all the Sleechis are in some way an attempt to articulate, to express the Misha Onala Avroma Avinu Bahara Maria. What do I mean by that? Just the first capital. So it begins with those words. How do we even have the nerve to speak to you? That's how it begins. Oh, but we do speak to him. And this is what we say, along with the other words, just a couple. Since the time that you made us into your people, we are driven away into Golus by our enemies. And we're shechted, we're murdered, we're butchered, and there's only a few of us left among nations who despise us. And we're waiting for Yeshua. Our eyes are longing for Yeshua. And we have no revach, we have no rest. Those who are meshabed us, those who enslave us, are idol worshippers. Tzefa ve'erev loma matzlichim. But morning and night, they're matzliach. The Python has come a long way from how dare I say anything? No? This has what to say. Komem lemulcha ne'otzois seichachem. That these people, our enemies, rise up against any kedusha in the world. And they make fun of us. And they say to us, Ritzutzim, those of you who are crushed by us, Ritzutzim. How do you continue trusting in this God? Shoichein ad v'kodesh. Rebbeinu Shalom. Look at the degradation, the disgrace of those who are crying out in pain. And how our enemies are mocking us and making fun of us. They're depending on you. And then we go every single day of Sleechis to the end. Remember the bris that you made. And included in that is this tefillah that you swore to Avram Avinu. I should say Yosim Mitzrayim. Leini Agoyim Liyoslahem Lelukim. Ani Hashem. And let me ask, Asei Imonu Kemoshi Yiftachtonu. Rebbeinu Shalom, we're asking you to keep your promise. Asei Imonu Kemoshi Yiftachtonu. Vav Gam Zois B'Yosim Etzoivim Lo Imastim Lo Galtim Achalosim Lo Ferbrisi Yitom Keni Hashem Lo Keyim. Hoshev Shusin Rachmenu Kemoshe Kosev and so on. The whole Sleechis is saying what Avraham Avinu wanted to say. So there's a story. It's a very, very deep and difficult story. I'm not going to try to explain it. It's hard to explain. But Hashem has brought it my way. And this was on my mind. Avraham Avinu's davening. The things that we would say, the things that we could say. And Afal Pichein, Rebbeinu Shalom, we're trying hard, we're doing our best to go to shul, to be kind, to continue raising Jewish children. to try to keep mitzvahs, to try to go away from things that are not good, to try to make you proud. See, here's the story. It was Motzei Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Sleechis. Around 170, 180 years ago. And the Triska Magid, Schus Yerleinu, the Triska Magid was sitting in his study and was learning. One of his grandsons came in and asked Zaidi, why aren't you coming into Sleechis? It's time for Sleechis. And the Olam is here. So Triska Magid looked up from the Sefer and he asked his grandson, I'm going to read it to you in the Lashon of the Sefer where I saw it. Va'atamuchan, I mean, of course it was in Yiddish, but Va'atamuchan, and are you ready to say Sleechis? He asked his grandson. V'zeidi einemuchan adayin? Zaidi is not ready to say Sleechis? And the Triska Magid said, Zecher bevadei sheneni muchan. I am not ready to say Sleechis. V'chi eich elech loima Sleechis. L'cha Hashem atztoke. Sleechis begins with the words, L'cha Hashem atztoke. It's hard to read the words. Triska Magid said, Sleechis begins with L'cha Hashem atztoke, v'ani yodeh she'ein adover kain. We can't say such a thing. But Triska Magid said, v'ani yodeh she'ein adover kain, keloi nira ba'olam, because when you look at the world, we see in the world, shegam kasha yesh la'ov ben she'eino hagun, that when a parent, a father, or a mother have, even when they have a child that is not living at all according to the rules and regulations of Yiddishkeit, Shagam kasha yesh la'ov ben she'eino hagun, adarabba, hu meitiv imay b'ahav v'lachzira elav. Adarabba, these children have to be more loved, and these parents shower these children with love. That's the whole mahalach. Adarabba, hu meitiv imay b'ahav v'lachzira elav, v'shal yiskalkel yoser. That when a father or mother have a child that's not doing well, adarabba, they love the child more, and they show the child more affection and more love. Lachzira elav, to try to bring the child back. That the child shouldn't get more messed up. Ubefrat, and then the Triska Magid said, Ubefrat, Shani yoideya, I know. Shebnei Yisrael be'emes toivim v'yisharim. The Jews be'emes are good. The Jews be'emes are toivim v'yisharim. I don't know what the Rebbeinu Shalom has with them. By that time, his grandson must have passed out. Because when I read this, I almost did myself. But that's not the end. The name that I gave to this, even though I hate giving titles, but the name was The Whole Truth. Nothing but the truth. So Triska Magid sat, and after he said these horrible words, these terrible words, these true words, he was a tzaddik yesod, a man of truth. He was sobbing and sobbing for a long time. And finally, he lifted up his head and he said to his grandson, "V'lonu b'ishes hapanim. Af al pi chen, Rabbi Shalom, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed for my sins. Emes. That's the truth. Bo'u v'neilach l'Sleechis. Let us go together to Sleechis. Loimer es ha'emes. Kol ha'emes. Let us go to Sleechis together and say the truth. The whole truth. And that's what Sleechis is about. The whole truth. To pour our hearts out. Lishberch sichem. Lifnei dar mesuchem. And the only license that we have to do that is because Avraham Avinu and the tzaddikim who gave us Sleechis taught us this. And the whole truth is, of course, that Hashem is just and Hashem is right. And l'cha Hashem hatzdaka. And because of that, Lono Boishes upon him, that we are ashamed, we are embarrassed, we have to do tshuva. Nachbes adrachein v'nach kaira. But we're human beings, and we know that that's true, but the other part of the truth, the whole truth, is hurting us so much. What is it after all the thousands of years that you still have with us, that you haven't brought us back to Yerushalayim? And that in many ways things seem to be getting darker and more difficult than ever before. So, Chaver, let's begin. We're allowed to speak to him. And he wants us to be honest. And he wants us to admit our faults, our mistakes, and to try to be better. Be'emes, be'emes. But be'emes, we have to feel in our hearts the pain of those who are going through such difficulties. And we have to be able to speak up on their behalf. For this girl and all of the single, for all of the chaver, for the young men that came to me, and I have this all the time now that says that I want so much. I learned Torah. I try to be a ben Torah, but I don't feel that I could get married. I don't feel that I could live that life. V'hamevin yavin. For all the parents of these children, for all these children. Aten mitzav mahayom kurchen lefnei Hashem l'keicha. Hashem's book should help us that all of our tefillah should be answered. And the time will come when already he'll say, "Dai l'chol tzaraseinu." We'll be zochim as Hashem that in a second, in the most miraculous and wondrous way, that we're going to see the Gula and the Yeshua that we've been davening for, that we were waiting for. We should be b'mher b'yameinu amen v'amen.